Hi, I'm Amanda Shekarchi, and I'm here with Dynesti, who is a hip hop soul artist based in Toronto. We're going to talk all about her new release and upcoming projects. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So, before we jump into the music, what do you hope people take away from your music?
My goal with all of my songs and just my whole artistry in general is to help boost people's mental health and to give them a break from all the crap that life throws at them, and either help them through it or give them a break from it.
I
Yeah.
love that. Why do you think music is such an important tool to be able to achieve this?
Music is universal. It's something that even if people don't speak the same language as you, they can feel the energy of it. So it's extremely empowering and it's global. It's it has like a spiritual presence to it, and it's just beautiful. It's a beautiful art form.
I totally agree. Now, speaking of empowering, let's talk about your new single, Done the Place.
Yeah, you said it
Yeah.
right.
Hey!
Done the place. Yes.
So, what is the inspiration behind it?
All right, so done the place means to literally done the place. Okay, we just put a DA there, but Jamaicans would pronounce it done the place. All right, and it means to literally done the place, finish the place, to do something so well that everything is just, you demolish the stage after. When you're done, nobody can come up after you and do the same thing that you've done like you did it. You just did it that well. Like you killed that. Okay, it's dead. It's over. All right, after you're done with it, right? You just did something extremely well, and I wanted to bring that same energy that we have in the islands in the West Indies when we say "done the place." I wanted to bring it to North America, and I switched it up a little bit so it's easier for them to pronounce. So "done the place" instead of "done the place," so you guys can join in. Yeah.
I love it. So, this song has such a personal meaning to you. Why?
When I wrote this song, I was homeless. I was in and out of homeless shelters throughout high school and part of, early adulthood, and I was in and out of shelters for 6 years. My mom had a mental illness, and music was a big part of my therapy and my healing and my way of expressing myself. And after being in and out of shelters for 6 years, I was in my last shelter, and I made a decision that was going to be my last time ever being in a shelter. It was a transitional home, and I'm like, I'm transitioning out. I'm never coming back to this position in life. And I made the song just saying like, yo, I'm done with that. So done that, finished that. And then now everything that I do, I'm going to come with all the energy where I'm doing it so well that no one can come up after me and do it like me. So I'm going to done the place, and I'm done with that place.
I love it. So, you've had a passion for music growing up. How would you describe this experience?
I started making music when I was 8 years old. That's when I wrote my first song, but music was definitely a part of my household and my journey before that. My stepfather would always play a whole lot of like Jamaican tunes. I was raised on gospel, reggae gospel for the most part, and I was singing along to everything, and it was therapeutic, and it was a great way to express myself. And when I turned 8 years old, I wrote my first song, and I was like, yeah, that's it. I'm going to be famous by the time I'm 16. Yeah, I'm going to make it happen. I mean, I didn't get to like make a song with Lil Bow Wow like I had hoped when I was, when I was like 8 years old. But we here now, and things are coming together way later than I expected, but they're coming together now.
So,
Yeah.
who are some of your music inspirations?
Growing up, I listened to so many people. Oh my gosh. Okay, so first off, gospel music, like Kirk Franklin was my guy. That's my guy. Man, he's amazing. And then I listened to a lot of really empowering Black women. So Erykah Badu, Mary J. Blige, India Arie, Jill Scott, Lauryn Hill, Eve, like women who were unapologetically themselves, who didn't have like the best, richest upbringing, but they decided that they were going to make something out of who they are, and they showed up bold and unapologetic every single time, and made lyrics that you wouldn't necessarily think were going to be popular in the mainstream, but somehow it ended up working for the mainstream because it was just so real and authentic. And I aspire to do the exact same thing every single time that I write. I want to be bold and unapologetic and really rep where I'm from and my village, you know? I really want to represent my people. Yeah.
I love it. So I feel like your music is really great when it comes to performing it live. So what has that experience been like to perform these songs?
Oh my God. I have so much fun performing live. Y'all, listen, if you don't understand the audio, like my songs, when you see me performed live, you will understand them because they're very visual. Like I wish I had the budget right now to create the music videos that I have in my head, but whenever I'm creating, I think about the live performance and I think about music videos all the time. Like I create a very visual interactive experience every time that I'm songwriting. I'm always thinking about the crowd, always thinking about my audience and how I can project visually to them. So I aim to make it so that every single time we perform, we enter into the Dyna. So my name is Dynesti, yes, but they call me Dyna for short. And Dyna is a way that Caribbean people pronounce the word diner, where people would go to eat, right? So I always say, like, there's nothing specific on the menu. I'm going to mix it up. But the only thing I guarantee is that you will leave feeling better than you felt coming in. So I welcome people into the Dyna. And the whole idea is to just uplift them, make them feel nice, make them feel relieved of tension and stress that life can throw on us sometimes, and just have them leaving with some good vibes and some good feelings and feeling like they're empowered to really conquer things in life that are difficult.
Yeah, so you touched on something really interesting here about how it's very, you can picture the visuals. Does that come after the writing process or before? What is it like for you?
Oh, it's during. It's the it's right throughout. So for me, usually I have to have the instrumental first. Like I'm really big on having a beat first. Every once in a while I'll write without one, but the beat does something for me. And then I'm very visual while I'm writing. Like if I have a notebook, it looks like really messy art the way that I'm writing the lyrics down. And I always paint a picture in my head while I'm flowing. My flow is very, very abstract. Like I'm not. It all happens in my head. It happens in my head, or it happens on a notepad, and I can't use like lined paper either. It's got to be like a sketchbook or something like that. But I really attack songs like it's a work of art, and everything kind of flows together into like one beautiful layered painting for me.
So I want to go a little bit deeper here because often there is this notion that women need to quote unquote prove themselves. What is your perspective on this in regards to the music industry?
I believe that everybody's got to prove themselves, but to themselves. They don't got to prove themselves to other people. Unless you're trying to get into a specific space, then yeah, sometimes you got to do some work. You got to let people know that you're at a certain level to enter into certain spaces. And that's okay. Like life is full of challenges, and sometimes you do need to level up. You do need to upgrade. You need to find coaches, mentors, take that time away and really like check in with yourself and heal and boost yourself to the next level in order to get to the next level, So it's really just about enjoying the journey, even though it can suck sometimes. There's lots of breakdowns. There's times where you're crying, you're angry, you're upset. So many things happen in the process, but I do believe that women are equal to men. We're different, right? But we're definitely equal. And The same way that they got to fight for stuff, we got to fight for stuff. It just looks different. It definitely looks different. And I'm not about anybody feeling like allowing themselves to stay a victim if they have been a victim. I'm not about allowing people to just stay there and sit in it. I'm about sit in it for a while and feel that pain and grief and go through it. And then when you're ready, you better bounce back and attack. You better attack.
Yes.
You better let people know you're a lioness and really go for whatever you want out of life.
For sure. So to follow up on this point, what advice do you have for people who are passionate about music but are afraid to put themselves out there?
Music is a medicine. It is something that can literally transform people's entire day. It can transform their whole life. You have no idea how many people are in a place where they don't want to wake up the next morning. You know, they might be thinking about ways to end their life before the end of the day. And something that you say, something that you have to pour from your soul into music could be the deciding factor on whether or not that person decides to continue on or break up with that piece of crap person that they're dating who is, abusing them and making them feel low about themselves or making them feel like they're lesser than or whatever. There's always something that you offer that nobody else can offer. And if you don't get yourself together, find a way to make that music happen, they're not going to get that medicine. They're not going to get that help. So you better put yourself out there. You better figure out how to express yourself to the best of your ability. And at first it's not going to be nice. It's not going to be professional. It might be a little choppy. You might, need some help, some coaching and whatnot. But that's okay. Like, we all need coaches. Even me as a coach, I also need coaches sometimes, So just be gentle with yourself, be loving and accepting of where you're at, and push and get that stuff out there because you don't know who you're going to help.
That is amazing. Yeah, I think music definitely is therapy. And, as crazy as this industry is, there is a space for everyone.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So what projects do you have coming up that you could share?
Oh, yeah. So the Dyna is working on a full course meal. It's a full 5-course meal. So I have had this concept for a while. I'm releasing 5 projects from the Dyna. The first project was called Say Grace. It's available on streaming platforms right now. So the first project was called Say Grace. I'm working on breakfast right now. Then there will be lunch, then the Last Supper, and then dessert. So there's five projects all coming in a 5-course meal. Breakfast is the next one. It's coming out in May 2025, real soon. And it is about the wake up of myself as a young Black woman who came from a broken home and was trying to navigate love and relationships without having a father figure in the household, without having a stable mother at the time. She's very much so healed a lot right now, but at the time, she definitely, stuff was rocky. And just trying to navigate myself, self-love, love, and relationships as someone who had been through a lot. So it gets really real, but I definitely got to the space that I'm at right now. So the whole album is about that journey, and hopefully it inspires a lot of women to also hop on that journey and to find their higher selves.
Wonderful. Well, I can't wait for this feast.
Yay.
Yeah. So I read something super interesting that you got a chance to open for Sean Paul.
I did.
What was that? What do you remember about that?
I was so excited. To open for Sean Paul because I grew up on this guy, man. I studied the music videos. I was doing all the dances. Like at every school that I was doing all the dances. I was obsessed, right? And I also had people around me who had been in his music videos and everything growing up. So I really, really looked up to this guy. So to open for him, I got to open for him thanks to Afro Wave Toronto. So they like I've done shows for them before, and they pulled me in and said, yo, listen, we got Sean Paul headlining. We want you to open for him. I was like, oh my God. So I got my dancers together. Shout outs to Kiara and to Whitney. And we just rehearsed like crazy. And I wanted to get every step correct, vocals correct. I put together the best possible set that I could. I made sure the costumes represented me as a queen. That's how I like to show up on stage, as a queen, you know, full crown, big, long, flowy attire. And I wanted it to be beautiful. I wanted it to be empowering, wanted it to be sexy, cool, chill, and also very, very, very Caribbean. Because, you know, I'm half Jamaican, half Trinidadian, so I had to represent. And we killed it. Yo, I watched that footage back and I'm like, yo, that's probably to this day my favorite performance that I've done. So yeah, it felt good. It felt really good.
So happy for you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So where can people find you?
People can find me at dynesti.com. That's dynesti.com. From there, all my social media is linked. So my TikTok, my YouTube, you can watch the videos on my website. You can find just everything. Everything is there. So if you want to holler at me, or if you want coaching, y'all can just message me there. I will be there and I will be responding. Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming and for this really empowering conversation. It's always amazing to talk to people like you who are really trying to inspire this next generation of musicians to sing their hearts out. Thank you.
Oh, thank you for having me.